Okay, I'm on the Palisade Trail and I figured I'd do a video because you can see the tracks and you can see which way they're going. Like this one, there's the back end, there's the front end, and you can see that he's kicking a little bit in the front. And this right here, snakes are out in the winter. My dog is dragging his leash. But you can see this is the dog print. You can see how there are claws on it. And you can also see which way they're going. But you can see when people drag their feet. Obviously snow is really a good time to do any type of tracking because you can see a lot of little things. You can tell how recent these are. Like, see how fresh this print is? That was just done by my dog. You can see the claws on the front. But you can see that these are very fresh. Because over time, they'd end up not being fresh. But in the wintertime, if you have to survive, you would have to find critters and set up traps and other things. But if you look around, there's not much going on as in the way of food. This is a pinyon, and well, not pinyon, juniper, sorry. It's a cedar family, and it provides berries. I've seen some that have berries on them. They don't taste very good though. They're pretty hard. But I'm trying to look for other things. In the wintertime, you're dealing with cold. All the reptiles have disappeared, so they're hiding. So you're not going to get like something like this. That is from my dog's leash. But in the wintertime, you've got to have either good shoes or be equipped to slip, because you're going to. But you can also find littler prints, which I can't find at the moment. I saw them earlier. But yeah, I'm slipping. But yeah, you can find little footprints of like voles and mice and that type of thing. But you can tell the footprint, you can see how it slid sideways. And that's because we're sliding. But what do you do if you have to be out in this? If you have no choice but to look for critters in this type of situation? Well, you're gonna have to find their tracks and find where they're going. And this is how you know the paths that they take. It's because of because you can see their paths, and you can see that. Sorry, I'm slipping. But yes, and you can also see this is a bike trail. You can see the treads for bike. But yeah, bike treads are single and inline. And also with these tracks, you can tell if they're walking, if they're running. It's a clean track. You can see their foot patterns. Like with a deer, you're gonna have a direct gait, so it'll make it look like fewer deer. Sorry. But yes, wintertime is a time where you can get out and have fun. You can enjoy yourself. Yes, you have to get winter gear and do all that type of stuff. But you get to see nature where it's completely covered in snow, and it takes on a different look. But yeah, I mean, you gotta layer up, and you just have to do things a little differently. But yeah, I mean, all of this is worth it. So And I'm keeping this on because, but you can see the feet pattern. You can see how you can see which way they're going, and you can see how if you do like this, how it's skidding and then going in. So you can tell who's bringing up their feet and who's not. But I'm on the Palisade Trail. It's out of Palisade near Grand, or it's part of Grand Junction. So I'm coming up here because of this. These are all petroglyphs on the side, and I've done one on this very area before. But you can see, what does that look like? Usually these big wrecks, that'd be an elk. And there's another one that I saw. I thought I saw a bighorn on here as well. But yeah, you can see how Indians left evidence before here. But yeah, so here's the evidence of the bighorn right there. But yes, this was an area where Indians came, and what they did is they left where to go. This is probably a trail for mountain goats, not mountain goats, bighorn sheep, and they left them for others to follow and be around. So, sorry, I'm having to, you can see them having to go through this as well. But yeah, this is why I do this type of thing. Which, as you can see, more petroglyphs. And I don't know if that's deer. Hold on, Toby. But this is on, it's called like Palisade Trail or Palisade Rim Trail. But these are all petroglyphs that are in here that have lasted quite a while. These are, but you can see how it's chunked out on the bottom. There used to be more, but you can see that there's a big grouping, and I guess the more animals they have, as you can see that there's quite a few. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them there, and then you can see a bighorn here. Toby, come back. Tobias, please come here. Sorry, my dog is off over there. And with BLM, you're actually dogs can be off leash. He's technically on a leash. He's just dragging it. If you notice that pattern that I saw before, it says dogs have to be on a leash. He's on a leash. I know it's kind of funny the way I do things, but yes, this is the pattern I'm talking about. Like, you can tell that this guy's walking and probably not very fast, because you can see how his feet are very close together. The faster people go, their gait gets a little bigger. Most people have about a 2 to 2.5 foot gait. But I mean, obviously it depends on how tall you are. But you can always explore places like this. I mean, if you're trying to survive, you would have to find caves and holes in the rock to try to make yourself a shelter. Where survival is not easy, you would have to try to make fire. So you'd have to find a place where it didn't have as much snow on the ground, because it's harder to start fires in the snow. But so other things that you gotta keep in mind is, like, when the sun goes down, like the shortest day of the year was 2 days ago, so the days are getting a little longer, but it's still a problem. But in order to survive what's coming, I mean, you can hear that plane, and if you're trying to be stealthy, you would not want to be out in the open when that thing flies over. So in this, what's the difference here? You can see the snow, but you can see there. Those are spikes that someone's wearing on their boots. So these are all little signs, and just like my dog's doing, he's leaving tracks, and animals will do the same thing. So if you're out in the wintertime, deer are mobile. Well, most mammals are out in the wintertime, except for like when it gets really, really cold. Squirrels and chipmunks and that type of thing are less active. You will occasionally find birds, but this is a cool spot. But yeah, there's petroglyphs all on the side of this. It is a good place to be. Also, another thing is there's variations with elevation. Like I'm at what, like 5,500 feet maybe, and then you go up. On the top up there is probably 9,000, maybe 10, because that's up towards Grand Mesa. And during the winter, you're going to travel slower because of the snow, as you're going to slide backwards unless you have ways of stopping that slide. But is it possible to live out here? Well, I mean, you can make, I mean, all this fresh snow is, you can eat it, but the problem is it will cool you out from the inside, and that could be deadly dangerous when you're already trying to combat the heat or the cold, and you'll get hypothermia and frostbite a lot quicker. And actually, I mean, you can see how this is laying. I'm trying to look at the wind patterns, and it kind of looks like the winds are going this way, because you can see everything is pointing that way. Like this grass is going that way. So it's kind of looking like this grass is indicating that you can see how all this stuff fell and went that way. So I would say the wind is kind of blowing that way. What other survival things for the winter? I'm just trying to get you to think. And there's different things that you look for in the winter. And I'm trying to find other tracks and stuff. But yeah, you just keep an eye. And the newer stuff that you can actually see the patterns of boots and stuff, those are going to be pretty new. And what also you can do is, if it snows overnight and all of a sudden you see tracks in the snow, you know an animal has been there, or a person has been there within the last however many hours. So that will be an indication of things. But it is good to get out during the winter time and just take advantage of the daylight hours. Especially if you're in a survival situation, you take advantage of the daylight. You get up when the day comes up, and then you hunker down when it's not as nice out. And this also this combats winter issues, because sun gives you vitamin D. It helps your body make vitamin D naturally. But I'm just looking more. But yeah, you can see all these track patterns and different things. Oh, this is my dog. And again, you can see how he's all over creation. He's just having fun. He's definitely a hound. But yeah, you can see that someone slid right here. But yes, what other winter survival? There are things, I mean, yes, this stuff does burn. Like this is actually sage right here. It's lost some of its greenish tinge, but it's still sage. There are things you can burn, but you have less fuel, and this fuel would go up pretty quick. During the winter time, a lot of those pipes in the plants shut down. And it makes it easier to burn. But yeah, you can see right here. You can see that you can see they're quicker the further out that they go, and then you can see how they're getting closer and closer together. So I know that you can see how they're running or walking or encountering obstacles. But yes, if you're staying behind, which you may during the tribulation, you're going to have to face days of darkness. You're going to have to face things turning absolutely topsy-turvy. And you're going to have to look for signs. You're going to have to learn how to live off the land, which most people I don't think can. Toby, this way. Wrong way, dog. Oh, wait, right way. You got it. Never mind. But yeah, it's always good to keep in mind, you gotta watch the path. But just be aware, if someone's looking for you, they're gonna stay on paths. So it may be in your best interest to not be on the main trail. And yeah. Someone originally on the video was doing a way to hide from your thermal signature, and they got an emergency blanket and they had it up, and they disappeared when it came to thermal imaging. So there are ways to combat your thermal or your heat that you give off. So so just be aware, because you'll have drones and other things looking for you. And my guess is the devil is just going to wait, because he knows that people will be starving. Because during this time of year, most animals are not active. So, I mean, and if things happen the way I think that they'll happen, like if the earthquake happens, God says that all the mountains turn to rubble. And so all of these will look much different. And also, if you know about Colorado and other places out west, there's reservoirs. Like there's 350 lakes up there on top of Grand Mesa. And so the reservoirs are holding water. So just imagine when all those break at once or over a short period of time, all that water is going to go somewhere. And so it's going to, any type of valley is going to get flooded big time. So, oh, I have it in my backpack, but I do have a compass. But having a compass is probably a good thing. If you kind of know the lay of the land and get familiar with it, it's a great way to do things. Like, even when an earthquake hits, there's going to be valleys and stuff, just like there are now. It's just, you're going to have, the mountains are going to be different. You will have volcanic eruptions. There will be 3 days of darkness, and there will be fire raining down from heaven. So the 3 days of darkness is like nothing. It's a thick darkness where there is no light. So like, if you put your hand like in front of your face, so pretend like like the camera is my face, you would do this and you wouldn't be able to see your hand at all in front of your face. It's kind of like going in a cave, but where there's no light from stars and other things, yeah, you're not gonna be able to see squat. Anything else? I'm trying to think of other things, and I did this kind of on the fly. But yes, oh well, here we go. But yeah, this is what I would also do, is during this time, hold up, Debbie, don't go over. If you have a vantage point, you can see what's below you. You can see, I would look for any type of evidence. You may see smoke coming off of smokestacks. You may see, and God put me in a situation. I was, Ribbon Trail's over there. Yeah, it's over there. But I was over there, and God showed me this valley burning. And I also had another dream where I was, Toby, hold on, where I was at a park and with one of my old bosses, not the one that I'm currently working for, but I was with him, and there was it just looked like smoke coming up. And I don't know if it was a bomb or a volcano, but what was interesting is and it may have been God saying that there's a bomb that's going to go off, but it was raining in the smoke. There was a lot of human remains that were falling. So yeah. But what I would look for is if you're in places like this and you're needing food or resources, what you can do is you could look for buildings, kind of like I am here. And but you're going to be fighting other people. And during that 3 days of darkness, I've heard that the demonic will come alive like never before. They will take over people and inhabit them and make them go completely insane. You will see dead bodies. There will be an outbreak of disease. And I pray that you're not held back. But if you are, then I pray for you. Another thing while I'm up here, hopefully I don't have anyone, but when you have stream valleys and that type of thing, there's also, this is a canal going this way, but this is Colorado River over here. And then I know the Gunnison River comes in behind this. The Gunnison River is on the opposite side. But what you're looking for is, if you're in a place like this and you need water, you're going to basically look for green. You're going to look for green, and that's where you're going to go to find water. You can boil, if you have a fire, you can boil snow, but a whole lot of snow doesn't produce a whole lot of whatever. But yes, there's going to be a lot of chaos, and I don't know, everything that I feel is pointing to this time as to something's going to happen. I just posted a video on Rapture Revelations, because there was a Christmas star and all that type of thing. But you also got to be realistic when you're traveling around. I mean, you're not going to have these roads. You're not going to have trains and that type of thing. Like there was a train that just went that way. That was an Amtrak train. But you're going to be on your feet. And so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to like travel up the valleys. Like it's stupid to go straight up like that. That's dumb. But you're going to have to watch your routes. And if you're going to have to plan your route and find ways of getting up and over. And finding water is going to be essential. Finding food is going to be another essential. And sorry, I'm looking around. But if you're God's, and if you've gone to Him, there is hidden manna. I'm just trying to give you some heads up. But yes, so yeah, tracks and everything. If you see a track like that big and it has no claws on it, there are cats. Your two cats that you have here are bobcat, which I don't see very often. Actually, I've never seen one in Colorado. And then the other cat that has a big old print, probably bigger than that, that has, if you look at, it's not a good print. Oh, Toby. But if you look on the back of the track right here, seriously, Toby? The panther will have 3 divots on the back end, so they'll have on the back end of their paw, they'll have divots. So, thank you for joining me. Bye for